guys, welcome back to yet another weekly writing vlog. My name is Marcelina Labou. I'm a 16-year-old teen indie author. I write and publish books for fun because I'm bored and have nothing else to do with my life other than make other people happy and try to inspire other people. So these are both standalones. You can start anywhere. I recommend you start with Labeled Innocent Presumed Dead if you're looking to get a taste of like my writing style, what I write about. And then if you want something a little bit darker from me, you can go to The Book That Divides Us. Check trigger warnings though, they're both on my website, although these are both young adult mystery romances. You can get them on Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, and Barnes & Noble as both paperbacks like you see here, as well as ebooks. I am currently working on my new book. It is set to release sometime June of 2027. I started out that sentence so confidently, which is hilarious because I don't even have a release date picked out yet. It is going to be a standalone YA psychological thriller romance with some like slasher vibes, some scream vibes to it. But now that I've officially finished planning every single character in this book, and it's the biggest cast of characters I've ever written in any one of my books, now it's time to move on to the next step of my outlining process, and that is the timeline. I just realized I was holding my notebook upside down. That was embarrassing. Anyway, the timeline, which basically, I don't have my other notebook in here for reference in my messy freaking closet. Oh wait, I do. Okay, so this was the, my, it's falling apart. I don't really know what's happening to it right now. It's old, okay? Don't judge. It's a little bit crinkly and a little bit elderly, but we respect our elders, okay? Okay. But for reference, I want to show you the timeline that I made for Labeled Innocent Presumed Dead, which is this book. Because basically we're going to be doing the exact same thing. Bro, where is it? It's literally, I'm pretty sure the page is falling apart, so I should be able to find it easily. There we go. Yeah, it is. The page is falling apart. This right here. This is what we're going to be doing today. And I think I did 2 pages. Yes, I did. Oh my gosh, that's something. This right here. This is what we're going to be doing today. This is the timeline. Yes, I actually draw it out in timeline fashion, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. But this is the official notebook for this new book, and we're going to be doing that. So with that being said, welcome to this vlog. If you like anything writing, organizing, trying to kind of do the more detailed work that it takes to write a thriller book, you're in the right place. And let's get started. It's 4:40 p.m. Got home from school. It's my last day of school. I finished. I'm officially a junior. I'm officially an 11th grader. I'm sorry. What? Crazy. Like, life isn't real, and also time isn't real, because what do you mean I start writing the first chapter of 2 Hearts in the Crossfire tomorrow? What is life? Genuinely what? But I just ate some chocolate, and we are ready to lock in and get to work. Finish the timeline. Actually, start the timeline. I haven't even started. Do the chapter outline. Everything's gonna be fine. Everything will be fine. I'm just... okay, let's get to work. It's go time. Okay, so the way we're gonna do this is I'm basically just using this as a reference. So we're going to alternate like top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. And then we're gonna go date. And then I'll highlight that, and then I'll do like a very short sentence description of what happened. You know, my inspo paper is looking worse and worse by the day, so that's not great, but it's fine now. Okay, now I need to figure out what the very, very, very first thing on this timeline is. Oh my gosh, I've truthfully been putting this off because I don't. It's a lot. Okay, it's just a character profile is going to be my best friend for this process because I have like all of the dates down. And my AirPods just died. Where is my case? I just put it somewhere. Hello. Oh, it's up here. You guys are seeing raw and real unfiltered Marcelina, who misplaces her AirPod case like every freaking day. Anyway, while that charges, let me talk this through. So as I was saying, my character profile contains every date known to man. Actually, that's not entirely true, but oh my gosh, I should have put dates on the backstories. What am I doing? I'm kind of yelling at my past self right now because I somehow didn't put dates for the backstory. That is a big no-no. Okay. Oh my gosh, okay. So let me just, okay. So for the character profile, obviously have our female main character, Athena, our male main character, Levi, the camp counselors, because this takes place at a summer camp, if you didn't know, and then we have a bunch of campers at the summer camp. But then I also have, in the same document, Levi and Athena's parents, which is known as the Calloway family, Athena's family, and the Salvatore family, which is Levi's family. And I put them there because their backstory and just them as characters are very, very, very essential to this book. They actually, I don't want to spoil anything obviously, but let's just say Levi's parents in particular, specifically his dad, is, okay, let's just say that he is quite literally, in a nutshell, the killer's motive. Like, he is why the killer is doing what they're doing. So, and then by definition, Tala, which is Levi's mom, is involved. Actually, she's not just involved by association. She literally does play a role as well. I would say out of the three, Paul, which is Athena's dad, is probably the least important. Like, honestly, Chris and Tala, Levi's parents, like, they can steal the show. Paul is kind of there. I mean, he's like a lazy, lousy father anyway. He's not winning any Father of the Year awards anytime soon. But now that I'm like thinking about this in hindsight, he's not as important as Chris and Tala, but he also is. He helps the killer, kind of. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking before I spoil something because this book is too good for me to like just try to talk about it with you guys. Anyway, I think I'm gonna start with them just because they're old, obviously. They are, oh, their age is right here. Paul is 46, Chris is 51, and Tala is 49. It's not what I meant by old, but like, I hope you guys know what I mean. They're the oldest in this cast, and so obviously that means that their story would start a lot later. I'm not gonna put birthdays on the timeline. The whole point of a timeline is to record like dates for the plot. Like, I'm not gonna spoil Labeled Innocent Presumed Dead for anyone who hasn't read it yet, but like, for example, I have on here October 1st, 2018, and then I have blank character and blank character are officially dating. And both of these characters, to be fair, are side characters, but the reason I put that there, the reason it had its own thing, was because it is significant. Because, again, without spoiling, them dating, they had a secret relationship, and like, we don't know about it until the very end of the book. And so for me, I needed to keep my facts straight when our FMC keeps catching this guy in a lie when he's like, I don't know her. Like, I needed to keep myself straight of like when exactly they met. And from the girl side of things that was in this relationship, there were a lot of things happening to her at the same time, both leading up to when she got in a relationship with this guy and then also afterward. And the timeline is very skewed, and I actually have diary entries in that book where we go back in time, and then she has these diary entries leading up to it. So it's basically how I get her exposition across without just info dumping, is she tells what happens from August all the way up to December when she goes missing through diaries. So just knowing when exactly they started dating, even though that's very, very, very tiny in the grand scheme of things, it really helped me. So stuff like that, or like, for example, I feel like I'm just summarizing my book at this point, but in that book, there's something called the Bureau, which is this basically top secret government organization, secret society type of thing, that they helped solve crimes, and it was like a teen-run thing, and they helped find missing women and children. So, for example, I put November 4th, 2023, present day now, because again, 2018 stuff was all flashbacks. And then I put Natalia, the FMC, it was her first day at the Bureau. So just stuff like that, basically. So the whole point of a timeline is that, why is there hair? The whole point of a timeline is to just keep the plot points straight, because the birthdays, I literally have a whole section on the character profile for that. I don't think I need to keep that straight. The reason, like, I don't want to be repetitive. I have very limited page space. I mean, this looks like a lot, but I also have a lot of other stuff I want to use this notebook for, like for the book. I don't need to take up and waste page space if I don't need to. And if I could just look at this document, which I always either have my computer or my phone or both on me, so I could always just look at this document if I need to know when their birthday is. The point of this is I can't, like, I'm sure I can't do a digital timeline, but it really helps me to see it on paper and to actually do it on paper. But like, I can do a chapter by chapter outline, which is what I'm going to do next, but the events get so muddled and confusing and things overlap that it really, really, really helps me. So I'm only going to stick to plot points. It was a really long way for me to basically just say I'm only going to be doing plot points on here. Anyway, I'm procrastinating on trying to figure out what the first one was, if you cannot tell. Let's go back to doing that. Oh yeah, so we're going to start with the Callaway / Salvatore family tree. So I think what I'm going to do, we're going to start... I hate this. I literally hate this. Oh my freaking goodness. Why do I write books? Why is this my job? Like, I love it and I hate it at the same time. Okay, we're gonna go back to the backstories and we're gonna figure out 2 very important details about Tala and Chris. I just spent 20 minutes trying to figure out what the first thing on the timeline should be, and I was gonna put something and I was like my pencil was on the paper, and then I was like, I looked at my brain tip, I was like, oh wait, there's romance in this book. Right, it's not just all stab. And so I was like, let me put something about Levi and Athena, because they are childhood friends after all. Yeah, that happened in 2016, and so if I find something that happened before that, I'm going to cry. Y'all, I think I am an actual genius. It is 11:15 p.m., so ignore that. But I made April 5th, 2017 a very, very, very significant thing. That is significant because 2 very significant things happened with Athena and Levi, and they're separate. Isn't that the crazy part? They're both 9 years old, they're both in 3rd grade, and this both happens when they're at home. But it's things that change their life that ties them back to each other, but it happens on the same day, coincidentally. And they don't tell each other about it until 2 years later. And I think this really symbolizes a lot of what I want to do for Athena and Levi's relationship going forward, and as a common theme for the rest of the book. I can't say too much about the relationship because it would give a lot away, but I will just say that it's gonna be probably, from what I'm thinking, my favorite relationship I've ever written, my favorite romance I've ever written. Future Marcelina, feel free to quote that and, add my own future 2 cents into that. Obviously, I haven't started writing yet, but I just, from that line and from what I'm thinking and what I've been envisioning the last couple of months, I have a really, really, really good idea of where I want to take the relationship, and it's not like anything else I've ever done before. Like, I know I'm always like, oh, I love Alyssa and Mateo, I love, Natalia and Jaden and God. No. Although Natalia will forever be my favorite FMC, and I'm very torn on where Levi's gonna stand on my, favorite MMC book boyfriend that I've created list. Because Mateo's pretty high up there, I can't even lie. Mateo and Jaden are, really up there for me. So I don't know what Levi's gonna compare, but I do know for a fact that while those 2 may not be my favorites individually, the romance is probably my favorite romance I will ever write, and I haven't even written them yet, so that tells you something. But my point is that I'm doing something very, very different with their romance, and they are true soulmates in every definition, every ounce of the word. I know they are both only 17, so it's like, Marcelina, they don't know real love. They're only 17. I promise you, they are soulmates. They were selected by the universe. I'm telling you right now. And I think there's a lot of parallels and consistencies throughout their childhood, throughout their experiences, a lot of coincidences that happen for both of them. Invisible string theory is real for the 2 of them, and also, it's a very, very small world. It's very true in the real world, but in this book especially, not only is it a small town, literally that this book takes place in, so yeah, it is a small world. Everybody does know everybody. Athena and Levi know each other on a deeper level than anybody else. Their pasts are connected. Their parents are connected in ways that I can't even begin to describe. It is an unfathomable combination and history, and every single time they try to come to their senses and they try to even use their brain, fate is like, no. I'm not having this. I don't stand for this. And they stand 10 toes down on bringing them back together in some way, because these two truly meant to be, because the stuff that coincidentally affects them both at the same time when they didn't even realize it is just tremendous. The timing for some of these things, I'm just living up to fate at that point. Like, I can't even describe it. Like, yeah, I'm writing it, but like, y'all gotta trust me. So anyway, there's a lot more coincidences that happen for a reason, but April 5th, 2017 is really the first double parallel day that kind of kicks it off, and from then on out, like, they forever are more than just shared trauma. Like, we need to reinvent something for deeper than that, because they are, but at its core, it's like, they're so interconnected. It's honestly not even funny. I hope you guys can still understand them, because the depth of where they both come from and why they don't let go and what they would do for each other is honestly, it gives me chills. I'm obsessed. And the fact that I was clever enough to even think of that as a Kickstarter to kind of propel this whole thing forward, like, it's making me excited, and it also makes it more realistic that these things would happen in the future, because they happened to them so young and 9 years old. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to brainstorming and timelining. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4th thing on the timeline. January 9th, 2022, Paul gets injured, parentheses, broken kneecap, and leaves work. And I was so tempted to put a yay, exclamation point. Let me just say, I need to pause my music for this. If Paul's broken kneecap had never healed and he never returned back to work, this entire book would have never happened. Why, you may ask? Because he did something that completely broke apart Levi's family, which in turn made Athena spiral. So basically, this whole book is Paul's fault. So, blame Paul for everything that he put my babies through. Also, if you end up loving this book, thank Paul, because this whole thing would have never happened if Paul would have never healed, because when Paul goes back to work, he does something that becomes a motive, becomes the killer's MO. So, like, I guess Paul's more important than I originally gave him credit for. Okay, guys, I'm gonna flip this so you can't see, like, the words, but I just want to point out. Guys, is this because it's so late? But what is happening? So we have straight, curved, semi-straight, curved. What is happening with symmetricalness right now? What? This is so bad. It's okay, this is just for me. Ugh. You know when the own author gets confused about their own breaking out my hair, their breaking timeline, that's bad. Like, I genuinely am just confusing myself. 2 months of character profiling and outlining and backstory planning, and this is where it gets me. It is now 11:53 p.m. It is almost midnight. It's only how far I've gotten. And now I'm just confused. Because I'm working mainly off of Athena and Levi's backstory, which, you know, those were the first 2 characters I did, of course, which I'll pull up the exact timestamps because I did vlogs for those. I don't exactly remember what I outlined them, but it was like, if I had to guess, it was March something, maybe? But, like, that was a long time ago, and I just had finals today and the past 2 days, so my brain is fried and kind of just submerged in oil at this point, so I cannot think clearly or remember clearly, and I just don't remember them. So now when I'm like, for example, a certain character, it could be Athena, it could be Levi, it could be none of them, it could be another character, I'm not going to say which character, but actually 2 different characters that I may or may not have named already. We're in the mental hospital, okay? Same mental hospital, that's important. Problem though is I don't remember how long I thought that they were going to be at this mental hospital, because they do escape and they do make a run for it, but like I have when they get admitted to it, when they both get admitted in the same month. June of 2023, but I don't know when they get out. And now I'm just confused. I'm forgetting everything. And then I think I wrote in my outline, blah, 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 blah. They instantly bond and make plans to escape together for an avenged life of proving to everyone they're not bad/damaged/broken, which does happen 2 months before the summer. I wrote that in all capitals. I don't know why I did that. I don't remember. I assume the summer is the main summer, the summer of 2025, when this book takes place. I think. But I also don't know what I meant by the summer. Because was I trying to imply that these two were at the mental hospital for 2 years? I'm not saying that's unlikely. I've never been, so I just feel like that's confusing. Bro, Paul pulling strings is something I never want to see. Because dang, what did he do? I'm gonna assume that Marcelina meant 2 months before the book takes place, aka April 2025. This book takes place in June 2025. I'm gonna add that and we're gonna see. Why couldn't I have been more specific? Oh my gosh. He's just annoying me because the entire reason I spent so long to make these like character profiling sheets and documents and backstories was to help my future self. It's actually making my future self more confused. I genuinely don't know. I swear they were only in the mental hospital for like 2 or 3 months max. Why are they in there for 2 years? I don't get it. Also, why did it take you know who and you know who so long to come back for them? They were why were they there the entire time? You guys don't know what I'm talking about. Well, why were they there the whole time? You supposed to love these people and you were like not even in the country for 2 years. That's why the phone call was such a trap, because this bro was in hiding. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. We're gonna go with the 2-year theory that they were supposedly in a mental hospital for 2 years. I don't know, guys. I don't know anymore. I don't know. And just like that, we are officially done with the timeline for Two Hearts in a Crossfire. I'm really, really happy. I think that it turned out good. If you can't tell, this is a brand new highlighter and I am obsessed because it makes it look like it just pops, which is good. The reason I do this for the dates isn't just because I did it for LIPD. It's also just because I think for me, I don't know if you can tell, I kind of touched on it earlier, but my handwriting's all over the place. Some's slanted, some's tiny, some's big. Like, I don't know what I was doing, but it's just, it can all get very messy and muddled together. And I think at its core, yes, the little description I wrote was important, but the dates are really what I'm looking for. Like, honestly, obviously I need to know what the dates mean and stand for. That's why I put description, but like the entire reason I'm doing this is to lay out the dates and see what happened in what month, how long it took them, like to see a visual representation of that. And so I really just want to make the dates pop. So that's the first thing my eye goes to. I didn't do any of the events in the book because I figured I'm actually right now just about to stop filming this video, and you're gonna see me in the same outfit if you watch the chapter by chapter outlining vlog, which should come out the day or two after this one. I'm so sorry, my posting schedule's like really messed up because of finals and I got behind, but like literally as soon as I'm done, it's, I don't know if I said this, by the way, sorry, it's 8:12 in the morning. I finished like at 1 a.m. last night, but I couldn't film, so we're doing it now. I just woke up, that's why my voice sounds like this, but we're going to immediately go and sit on the couch, start filming a new video, and go ahead and start the chapter by chapter outline. So once I start that, which is really laying out the chapter by chapter order of events chronologically that will happen. If I want to, I can make a second timeline that starts on June 16th and goes until however long this book goes. Like, the summer camp is going to be 3 weeks. I don't know how long I want the book to be. I don't know if I want it to be the whole 3 weeks. Probably, yeah. Okay, I think I want this book to be 3 weeks. Just the whole point is that it's going to help my future self when writing and editing. Make sure I, like, basically this is going to prevent so many plot holes without me having to constantly rethink of it when I'm tired, when I'm just cannot remember. This is going to come in clutch, I promise. So anyway, it's over. We have our second to last stage of outlining for this book is done. I'm so happy. It turned out really well. I hope you guys enjoyed the little bits and pieces that I gave you. I was trying to sprinkle in a lot of little foreshadowing. So that is going to be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you so much, and I will see you all in the next video very soon. Bye!